Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today, we have with us Anuj Sahai, Vice President, Customer Experience Products at Walmart Global Tech India. So, today we'll be discussing CX and how the CX scene has changed in the last couple of years. Welcome, Anuj.
Thanks, Sunil.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I think I'll get straight to it. Still it is that's the most burning question, about the COVID era. So what are the changes that have happened in the customer experience scene in the last 2 years? Because 2019 technology was at a certain stage, and last 2 years we've seen a mad acceleration. So if you could just talk about the changing CX scene in the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's a fabulous question. And, from a customer experience perspective, obviously the pandemic has, kind of influenced the customer behavior in a very different way where, social distancing, just, maybe splurging more at home, not so because there are just limited opportunities outside. Like the overall customer behavior has evolved, right? And everything that we do at Walmart, is with the customer at the center. If you think about it, we had started on our journey on building this omni-channel experiences, a few years back. So I think, it's fortunately for us also a lot of the organization was very ready when the pandemic hit, right? And so just a lot of what happened is that with the change in customer behavior, a lot of the capabilities that we had in our experiences, which was, either curbside pickup or, ship from store, all of a sudden, a lot of those experiences sort of became the norm as customers, started to evolve and adopt and, sort of drive some of these pieces, right? Like, so I think that is what fundamentally sort of from a customer experience perspective, the customer behaviors had changed. And obviously the enterprise then had to respond to these changing behaviors. And when you think about retail, right, it's not, the customer experience is not just what the customer sees. Everything from assortment that we carry, the merchandising, the pricing, the supply chain, everything needs to get configured and rejigged in a way that sort of meets these customers' needs. And so sort of this technology cascade sort of is through the enterprise. And it's just, while customer experience is what we see, even pricing is now technology enabled. How efficiently we can buy and procure is also technology. And so it just, I broadly in my mind, like customer experience is not what just the customer sees, but everything that happens in the, what our associates do, what we do to also sort of bring that to fore, right? Like, so you're right, like, right from assortment that we carried, all of a sudden we saw that our marketplace sellers, had to be enabled in a different way. Just to give you some examples of what we had to do, obviously on the customer side, there was the fulfillment mechanisms then, evolved in a different way. So how customers were searching had to sort of evolve, right? And then obviously an entire supply chain, had to sort of meet that need, or sort of reconfigure is too strong a word, but sort of adapt to that changing customer need. And so I hope that give you a sense of a lot of what that had to happen, right from assortment, pricing, customer experience on the app, everything that sort of needed to happen to enable and support those customer needs.
Yeah. So like you have talked about, it's quite a wide ranging topic and a lot of complex issues. So
Right.
could you maybe give some, if possible, give some examples of the, things you have changed, innovations you got, one. And second, is the India market, did it prove to be any different from the global market? Because, retail was going at breakneck speed in the last 2 years. So it's been a real happening scene. So if these two things, if you could touch upon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, retail has, across all industries have had to adapt, but, retail more so, just given the, just the complexities in supply chain and, the change so quickly, the customer behavior, changed and everybody had to adapt to it. So like, so, all of a sudden, like we said, for us, that curbside pickup, a lot of those capabilities became very important, right? There was, customers would book slots and then, they would want to. So a lot of effort went to making sure that, customers had, we could open up more slots, right? Like how do we enable, the customers to, not reduce the waiting time. So just, everything that went in to make that shopping journey in the new, with the new shopping experience seamless, right? Like, so that was the change. So, I mean, we've all read about the examples on, toilet paper and, some of these where, for example, we had to get in a lot of assortment from our marketplace sellers because, that was the need of the hour. And so, we work with, on the one piece side to source, we also sort of work with our sellers. Everything, requires a lot of technology to enable it and, sort of take it to our customers. So, that's probably, some examples of very, very, simple changes that we had to do to just adopt. And, obviously there was just a lot of, innovation that happened. That's sort of, and in the India market, again, that's just sort of my view as a customer. Like I said, from my focus is on the US market, but obviously from what we've heard anecdotally and from just informal conversations, obviously it's very similar in the Indian market. We've realized that all of a sudden we would, on a lot of these home delivery apps, we wouldn't get slots. And so I think it was the same behavior which we saw, which is sort of a very high adoption of digital channels to shop. And I think ours was no different. Like the digital adoption, which we would probably seen would have happened over the next couple of years, just sort of got short circuited and accelerated and happened in a few months, right? And that's been fabulous to see.
Yeah, so that you have given a comprehensive view from your point of view. Then what about the customer? Has his expectations, his experience changed? Are things back to normal, or has the customer changed forever now?
I think the customers have certainly, evolved, right? I think the adoption of it, the comfort with digital, the comfort of digital technologies, digital payments, a lot of that has sort of, I think that adoption is permanent, right? And we see some of that. I think how it will manifest in terms of behavior is something that is evolving right now. So as customers come back to stores, right, like we may see, and again we're just sort of too early stages to say whether this is happening or not, but potentially customers using the app more in the store to identify, locate products. So I think even the physical shopping experience could potentially evolve as customers have gotten used to more and more of this of digital technologies, right? And obviously a lot of convenience has happened, and so we definitely that part of the business has certainly increased. But where the new normal will be, I think that's just very early to say. But my personal view on that is that it'll be somewhere in the middle. But certainly the digital adoption is here to stay, and that'll sort of drive some of the both the physical and the e-commerce channels as we think about it.
Yeah. So I think we have covered a lot. Finally, I'd like to ask a slightly difficult question about future trends, because the problem was 2019 CX was taking a certain trajectory. Now that has changed. So 2022 onwards, now it's a new trajectory. So it's very tough. Maybe in the next few years or the 2020s, can you just speak about CX trends?
Yeah, so I think for me, I think, and specifically for us at Walmart, the future is omni-channel, right? And I I mean, we can talk about features, and for me, like AI, like sort of augmented or VR, all of those are sort of able, some small capabilities to support the end journey. But ultimately, if you think about as a customer, right, the customer doesn't really need to shop out, get up in the morning and say, I'm going to go to e-commerce, so I'm going to go to a store. She gets up in the morning because she wants that toaster, she wants the milk, and she wants the fruits, right? And ultimately, we need to be able to deliver that in the most seamless and transparent manner. If the toaster is burnt, then you need the toaster in the next 1 hour. If you're redoing your kitchen, you're okay to get it after 2 days, and there's a different use case there, right? Again, and as we understand customers, as we sort of enable this, this supply chain and these omni-channel experiences, that's very, where it will be. And then you will add like capabilities which will enable these digital experiences more and more. But I also think that even on the store side, right, like the digital technology adoption is also going to go up. Maybe identifying items in the store, your store maps, a lot of that is going to evolve. So I think the digital piece is going to stay, and customer use cases will be like that. But I think the pure omni-channel piece is really what I believe is, sort of the future of retail, and that's very what we are super focused on at Walmart.
So anyway, thank you. I guess the customer wants it simple, omni-channel, a simple interface, but behind the scenes, I guess it's getting more and more complex for you to deliver that single point of experience.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty, that's the challenge, and that's really what these are the new age problems in retail, and that's really what we at Walmart in India and globally sort of are focused on. And that's really what it is. I'd like to think of this as us being able to talk to each customer over time, right? So there's just going to be a lot of personalization, but it's it's like, I do want to also say that while it's that piece is there, it's also going to be a lot how we enable our associates to be able to deliver, right? So technology is going to be on the customer side, but it's also going to be a lot on how do we sort of what technology we bring into our warehouses, into our what AI ML is going to help our business leaders make decisions, right? Like this is how do we enable different business models, whether it's health and wellness or commerce. So all of that has to blend in, and I think technology is kind of the glue that's going to bring it all together, or the enabler.
So thanks for that, and I'm sure the excitement will continue because it's been hectic.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sindhu.